Thank you all for being here. My name is Bijan Sartipi. I'm the Caltrans District Director for Bay Area, covering the 9 Bay Area county. And it's a pleasure to be here today to celebrate with you an event and to reenact an event that happened 100 years ago. Before we begin, would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Once again, thank you all for being here. We have a great program for you, and we will start. On this day, 100 years ago, history was made when the state of California awarded contract number 1 of the state highway system. Contract number 1 was for highway before us, El Camino Real, State Route 82. On that August day, Californians began building the state highway system that we see today. Now, thanks to the effort of the Grand Boulevard Initiative Task Force, El Camino Real is making a transition from an automobile-centric highway to a multi-modal transportation artery. We have great program for you, and of course we've got distinguished guests and great speakers, starting with Congresswoman Jackie Spear is here with us. Thank you for joining us. Assemblymember Jerry Hill is here, who will be speaking. Supervisor Adrian Tessier, and the Mayor of San Bruno, Jim Ruin, is also here, who will be also speaking. In our audience, we also have other distinguished guests. From City of San Bruno, City Council Member Rico Medina is with us. Ken Ibarra is here with us, from the Vice Mayor of City of San Bruno. Randy Trujillo's field representative, Supervisor David Pine, is here with us, standing right there. Russell Hancock is here from GBI, the Grand Boulevard Initiative Task Force, the co-chair. Michael Scanlon is standing back there with Caltrain and also GBI, the Grand Task Force. Connie Jackson, San Bruno City Manager, is also here with us. Mitchell Postal, the San Mateo County Historical Association, is here with us. We also have sitting right up front, Mitt Cavelli, 99 years old, drove the 1919 Model T. That's why we're here. Next is Coop Momacho, 100 years old. This May, happy birthday. We also have from the Mid-Peninsula Old Time Auto Club, Mark and Kay, who are also here. Marcus. I know I've missed a lot of other distinguished guests here. I apologize for that, but I appreciate everyone's taking the time and being here with us today. As we gather today at this beautiful modern complex, it can be difficult to imagine what life in California was like 100 years ago today. Back then, William Howard Taft was the president, Herman Warren Johnson was the governor, the head of Caltrans was Chairman Burton Town, and our district director was Arthur Loader. San Bruno had 1,400 residents, and San Mateo County was home to only 26,000 people. You could buy a brand new Ford for as little as $600. Gasoline price was 18 to 21 cents, and there was no state highway system, or interstate for that matter, the interstate network. The system, such as it was, consisted of loose collection of roads, many of them unpaved, owned by either counties, cities, or private individuals. Across California, many residents, business interests, and political leaders knew we needed a state highway transportation system. Today, we're here again blessed with leaders who have the same vision and foresight, including those who you will be hear from today. Our first speaker represents the 12th Congressional District. Congresswoman Jackie Spear has served the people of California for almost 3 decades as a county supervisor, a state assembly member, and a state senator. While in Sacramento, she spent 8 years on the State Transportation Committee and secured funding for Caltrain Baby Bullet Train. In Washington, she works hard. She is a strong supporter of the Recovery Act, which funded numerous infrastructure improvement projects that brought tremendous amount of jobs to this region. Please give a warm welcome to Congresswoman Jackie Speer.
Good morning, everyone. When Bijan was introducing me, I was thinking, you know, I feel almost as old as this roadway. I want to thank you all for joining us today to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the paving of El Camino Real. 100 years ago, Woodrow Wilson was about to be elected president, and Hiram Johnson was California's reform-minded governor who brought us the initiative that we all so relish. And the El Camino Real was an unpaved road, which, if you look carefully at the pictures from that era, was filled with potholes. So what's different today? Well, it's paved, and Mr. Sartipi will tell you there isn't a single pothole between San Francisco and San Jose, right? Well, almost. Anyway, there's something that remains the same. The road plays an essential role in our region's economy. Think about it. Nearly everyone in our communities travels along El Camino throughout the week. An enormous amount of commerce is done along this roadway. And when babies are going to be born, a lot of moms and dads travel El Camino to get to Peninsula Hospital or Kaiser South San Francisco or San Mateo Medical Center or even Stanford or El Camino Hospital. In short, it isn't just a lifeline for our community, but it makes delivery of a new life possible as well. Benefiting its important role in our community, we are here to also celebrate the commitment of 19 communities, businesses, and community groups to a renewal. If a community just lets nature take a hold, and a mishmash of uses and structures and purposes will arise, well, that's okay, except it doesn't create a grand boulevard and a grand idea. But there is a vision of uses for this street. If there is a vision of a truly grand boulevard, such as being proposed by its partners in this effort, then communities have a chance to not just survive, but to thrive. From the standpoint of our planet, a good use of this grand boulevard would reduce greenhouse gas emissions and allow jobs and housing to become better balanced. Imagine being able to walk up and down El Camino Real without putting your life at risk when you want to cross it. Quite a vision, isn't it? Imagine being able to admire the landscaping or to catch a bus that also triggers stoplights to turn green so that you can quickly move down one end of El Camino to the other. The kind of road already possible in foreign countries, and some of which are only newly modernized. It should be possible on a street that is, in fact, the heart of Silicon Valley, and that's what our vision is all about. Imagine that when there's an emergency on Highway 101, the El Camino Real is hooked up to computers so that traffic can be diverted and so that it would flow as smoothly as possible despite 101 being partially closed. I understand there was a gravel on 101 on Friday that closed it down for a long time. Imagine if we could somehow have a way of communicating through our phones, through our cars, so that people would not go to 101 when there was a spill. The federal government has been a partner in this planning process, providing $1.1 million in Tiger II funds from the U.S. Department of Transportation. There were 33 planning applications that were funded out of hundreds of applications nationally. So this is a great feather in the cap of the Grand Boulevard planners, in that they have received this funding when there were so many in competition for it. I'm proud to have supported funding for Tiger grants in general, and I do so knowing that we have highly competitive proposals from both San Mateo and San Francisco counties. And we can use this grant funding to redefine the El Camino, because what we have today with the El Camino Real is the equivalent of a really solid 1960 Chevrolet. You know, the best of its time. What Silicon Valley deserves is a Tesla, although by the time that this project reaches fruition, I'm sure that Teslas will be passé as well. So we have a great opportunity ahead of us. I want to join you in celebrating 100 years of success at paving El Camino. We have the tools to shape a better El Camino Real for everyone in the future. And the first tool in our tool chest doesn't even cost us a penny to buy or to use. It's called vision. If we use that tool, and yes, combine it over time with a bit of money, this street will truly be royal and a grand boulevard. So again, my congratulations to all who have developed this exciting opportunity, and I look forward to watching all of these great vehicles move down the El Camino Real. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman Spear. Let me also recognize Dan McInerney, the Chief Deputy for Caltrans, and also thank and recognize the local law enforcement officers and also the California Highway Patrol who keep us safe every day on our highways. Malcolm Dougherty, Caltrans Director, wanted to be here today and join us, but he was unable to break away from the business at hand and sends his regret. He asked me to tell you a few words on his behalf. Since 1912, Californians have witnessed great changes, but some things have not changed. In 1909, California residents approved a bold, visionary plan to build a statewide highway system by financing it by an $18 million bond. 97 years later, Californians again stepped up to the plate and approved Proposition 1B. It is the largest, it's a $19.9 billion bond investing in our roads, bridges, ports, and our transit system. It is the largest infrastructure investment in our generation and has created thousands of badly needed jobs in the construction industry, many of them here in Bay Area and in San Mateo County. The work that we all do as partners has great reward and consequences for our economy, for our environment, and for our future. This means that we carry great responsibility on our shoulders. Our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents paved the dirt roads and expanded them into the highway we see before us today. They built roads, bridges, tunnels, and ports, the foundation upon which we have prospered. They paved the way so we have a better future. And let us do the same for our children and for our grandchildren. Let us leave them a state and a nation that is equipped to conquer the challenges of their lifetime. Let us move forward and do the work that needs to be done. Let us do this work together. Our next speaker represents the 19th Assembly District. Assemblymember Jerry Hill has served as San Mateo County City Council member and as mayor and a county supervisor. He also served on the board of directors of both Samtrans and Caltrain and was recently named to the Select Committee on the High-Speed Rail. Among his proudest achievements, not too long ago, he and his wife welcomed their first grandchildren. Please give a warm welcome and greetings to Assemblywoman Jerry Hill.
Thank you, Bijan, very much. Thank you. Thank you, Bijan, very much for that. I'm really proud to be part of this wonderful celebration. The groundbreaking that occurred right down the street, in that location 100 years ago, holds great importance not only to the peninsula communities, but for the entire state of California. And on a personal note, as I was thinking today, there have been many times that I have been stuck in traffic on El Camino when it seemed like 100 years that I was sitting there. Is the problem that I had. But Californians have long been able to recognize and seize important opportunities for growth. We know that our economic vitality is directly linked to mobility. It's why the state legislature in 1895 created the Bureau of Highways. It is why the California State Highway System was established in 1909. And it is why 100 years ago today, at this very spot right down the street, in the city of San Bruno and the county of San Mateo, where ground was broken for State Highway number 1. Later today, I will introduce a resolution on the floor of the State Assembly in Sacramento recognizing the 100th anniversary of the commencement of the State Highway System. But we cannot and have not rested on our laurels when it comes to opportunities for improving mobility and fostering economic vitality. It is why leaders in our region came together just over 20 years ago to purchase the Caltrain right-of-way from Southern Pacific. And it is why I fought to ensure that Caltrain received full funding for the modernization program that will improve service and provide cleaner, quieter, and a faster system benefiting the entire system and the entire region. We know that the investment in Caltrain will create more than 9,000 full-time jobs for this region, will improve property values, and most importantly, will mean more service to more stations along this peninsula. But the modernization of Caltrain is only one piece of the transformative vision of this corridor. Like our predecessors 100 years ago, we continue to see El Camino Real as a vital and vibrant arterial connecting our communities. Out of that vision, the Grand Boulevard Initiative was born. You know, a true grassroots enterprise to transform El Camino Real from Santa Clara County all the way through San Mateo County into a walkable, livable corridor that offers communities the opportunities to go to work, to live, and play right here on the Kings Highway. Today we celebrate an important event that took place 100 years ago, and we celebrate the vision and the actions that keep California moving ahead. So thank you very much. It is an honor, truly an honor to be part of this great celebration today. Bijan, thank you for all that you've done to help us make this possible. Thank you, Bijan.
Thank you, Assembly Member here. Our next speaker is one of the busiest people in all of San Mateo County. Supervisor Adrienne Tessier represents San Mateo County's District 5 and is also in her second term as the President of the Board of Supervisors. She's also the Chair of the Metropolitan Transportation Commission and Caltrain Board and serves on Samtrans Board also. She also works with the Highway Patrol to organize free classes that help older drivers remain up to date with the new traffic laws. If that weren't enough, she somehow finds the time to be the die-hard Giants fan. Please welcome Supervisor Adrienne Tessier.
Thank you, Bijan. Good morning, and thank you all for giving me this opportunity to celebrate this important milestone in our county's coming-of-age story with all of you. 100 years ago, the Giants were in New York, and the A's were in Philadelphia. We have come a long way, baby. The decision to construct a state highway system was transformative for counties like ours, which to that point had been comprised of small, insular communities connected only by rail. Traveling between San Bruno and Burlingame was difficult and tedious and time-consuming. But the state highway system liberated people to travel outside of their own communities to explore the rest of our county and areas beyond. It is important that San Mateo County was the site for the first paved highway section because the fight to construct a highway began right here. Our community was among the first to stand up to Southern Pacific and take control of our own destiny. The fight in many ways was a catalyst that helped to define our peninsula's spirit and character and inform our view of the world, our priorities, and our goals with that same independence and visionary thinking with which this highway was first constructed. In the late 80s and early 90s, San Mateo County leaders came together with San Francisco and Santa Clara County officials, driven by that same streak of independence and leadership to save the Caltrain system and tie the entire region together by railroad in the same way our peninsula communities were brought together and closer by this highway. The purchase of the Caltrain right-of-way was required the same kind of vision. The system, which served about 14,000 riders each day when the Joint Powers Board assumed control of the system in 1992, has been transformed over the last 2 decades. In June, Caltrain continued its nearly 2 years of record ridership growth by serving more than 50,000 riders each weekday. With the promise of electrification made possible by the courage of legislative leaders like Congresswoman Jackie Spear, Assemblyman Jerry Hill, who is here with us today along with Jackie, and Assemblyman Gordon, who was not able to be here, this corridor of highway, rail, and freeway systems will remain a vital transportation network that continues to drive our peninsula's economic and employment engines. And with an effort toward creating sustainable communities, our future will see more transit-oriented developments, priority development areas with more transit, more bikes, and more walkers on this El Camino. I want to thank all who helped with the Grand Boulevard and to organize this event to help us recognize this prized roadway. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Supervisor Tessier. Next, we have a man who is quite familiar to all of you. Mayor Jim Rowan won his first election to the San Bruno City Council in 1995 and became mayor in 2009. He serves on the Council's Sustainability and Climate Change Committee, is the Council's liaison to the Planning Commission, and represents the city on the Peninsula Traffic Congestion Relief Alliance. Please give a warm welcome to Mayor Jim Rowan.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the wonderful city of San Bruno. 100 years ago, while Arizona was becoming the 48th state, and Jim Thorpe was starring in the 5th Olympic Games, and San Francisco was holding its first ever Beta Breakers race, San Bruno was a growing town of approximately 1,600 residents that would incorporate just 2 years later. Turning the Royal Road into a state highway made the connection between San Francisco and the peninsula more accessible for Model Ts, and ultimately made the state of California more accessible from border to border. With the additions of Highway 101 and 280, El Camino Real became more of a hometown highway. We used the roadway for our daily trips to work or to school, to visit local businesses, and to travel to our neighboring cities. Working towards the future, the city of San Bruno enthusiastically supports the Grand Boulevard Initiative for El Camino Real. We have incorporated the principles of the Grand Boulevard Initiative into our general plan and into our new transit corridors plan. We look forward to working with Caltrans to transform El Camino Real from traffic-clogged roadway into an attractive, livable, walkable, and transit-friendly multi-use boulevard. The transit corridors plan will encourage new apartments and retail uses well served by the transit all along El Camino Real. This vision will result in a sustainable development relying less on cars and more on public transportation, which will connect with our new Caltrain station, currently under construction about 2 blocks away on San Bruno Avenue. We are proud that El Camino Real State Highway 82, the highway that linked all of California, began right here in San Bruno. While it grows and changes over the years, one thing remains the same. El Camino Real is truly a grand boulevard. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Now we would like to ask our reenactors to take their place for the groundbreaking. And while they're doing that, I once again want to thank everyone for joining us today. We will take a few minutes also for the speakers to have an opportunity to take some pictures with the reenactors, and then the parade to the Washington Park. Thank you all again for coming, and enjoy the rest of the day.